Hey everyone, and welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into effective budgeting tools today.
Yeah, you're trying to improve how you manage your money, and so we're here to break down the features that can really make a difference.
For sure. And for this deep dive, we'll be looking at an article called Key Features of Effective Budgeting Tools.
Yep. Published October 18th this year on Maping Money.
So are you ready to get started?
Absolutely. Let's start with the foundation of any good budgeting tool.
The user interface.
Exactly. It's the first thing you see, and if it's clunky or confusing, it can make you give up on budgeting.
The article says that steering your financial landscape shouldn't feel like a chore. It should empower you to take control.
I love that quote.
Me too. But what does a user-friendly interface actually look like?
Well, it's about intuitive navigation, a clean layout, and clear visuals so you can easily see your money.
So like if I log into my budgeting app, I should be able to see my income and expenses and progress without any problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about making things easy to understand so you don't feel overwhelmed.
I can see how that would make people less anxious about their money.
Yeah, when the tool itself is stressful, you're more likely to just give up on budgeting.
Totally. So a user-friendly interface should be helpful and not stressful.
Right, it should guide you through the whole budgeting process and make it feel manageable.
And even maybe kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And it needs to be accessible on all our devices, right?
Oh, yeah. That's important these days.
Phones, tablets, and laptops.
It should just work everywhere.
Okay, so that's responsive design.
Yep, now let's move on to customization.
Okay, so effective budgeting tools should let you tailor categories to your own spending habits.
Right, you need to match your priorities.
I like that it's like having a budgeting system that's personalized for you.
Exactly.
The article says you're not just tracking your money, you're actively shaping your financial destiny.
I like that quote.
Me too.
Yeah.
Instead of just recording what you spend, you're choosing what categories matter to you.
Right, so you can break down your spending in a way that makes sense for you.
So, for example, some people might want to separate their entertainment category.
Yeah, into movies, concerts, and dining out.
Or maybe someone is doing a lot of home improvement projects, so they'd want a separate category for that.
Exactly. It's all about seeing where your money is going, so you can make sure you're spending it on things that are important to you.
And that brings us to real-time expense tracking,
This is a big one.
especially if you sometimes buy things without thinking about it too much,
Imagine you're online about to buy something.
like a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, and you get a notification from your budgeting app.
Oh,
That shows you how much this purchase will affect your budget.
that would definitely make me rethink things.
It helps you make better decisions.
The article says know exactly where your money goes at any time, eliminating surprises.
That's so important.
Real-time tracking makes you more aware of your spending.
And you're more likely to stick to your budget when you can see the impact of your spending right away.
So real-time tracking helps us in the now.
But we also need to think about the future.
Exactly, and that's where goal setting and progress monitoring come in,
Let's say you have a big financial goal.
like buying a house or paying off student loan debt.
Right. And a good budgeting tool will help you break that goal down into smaller steps.
I like that it's like having a plan to reach your goal.
And progress monitoring will help you stay on track and motivated.
The article talks about setting SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Those are the key ingredients for success.
Can you explain what those mean?
Sure, specific means you know exactly what you want.
So instead of just saying, I want to save more money,
You'd say, I want to save $5,000 for a down payment on a car.
so you have a clear target.
Exactly. Measurable means you can track your progress towards your goal.
Like how much you've saved so far.
Right. Achievable means it's realistic.
So you're not setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly. Relevant means it's important to you.
Yeah, it aligns with your values.
And time-bound means you have a deadline.
This framework is so helpful.
It takes the guesswork out of setting goals.
But what if something unexpected happens and you need to change your goals?
That's where flexibility comes in.
A good budgeting tool should let you adjust your goals as needed.
Yeah, life is unpredictable.
So we've covered a lot in this first part of our deep dive.
We talked about user-friendly interfaces.
Customizable categories, real-time expense tracking, and goal setting with progress monitoring.
Now we'll move on to the next set of features and continue exploring the tools that can empower you to take control of your finances. So welcome back to our deep dive into effective budgeting tools.
All ready for more.
Great. So we've talked about tracking spending, setting goals, monitoring your progress.
Right.
Now let's step back a bit
Okay.
and look at the big picture.
I like that we've been talking about individual pieces,
Yeah,
but now we're going to look at the whole thing.
exactly. And the next key feature we'll cover is all about that.
Okay.
Financial reports and analytics.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
Yeah, they take all the data you've been tracking and give you insights.
So it's like having someone analyze our spending for us.
Yes, precisely. Instead of just seeing a bunch of numbers,
Right.
you can now spot trends, see where you're overspending, and find ways to save.
The article talks about breaking free from uncertainty and taking control of your financial destiny.
Yeah, I love that.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about understanding the numbers and using them to our advantage.
Exactly.
It's like instead of being scared of our finances, we can actually use them to reach our goals.
Right. And imagine being able to see exactly how much you spend on eating out every month.
Wow, yeah. Or like how much my grocery bills have been going up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That kind of information can be really helpful.
It could help me make better decisions about my spending.
Right. And it can also help you set more realistic goals.
Okay, so we've got our financial data organized and analyzed,
Mhm.
but what about accessibility?
Right. Let's talk about multi-device synchronization.
Multi-device what?
Synchronization, it means you can access your budget from anywhere.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So imagine you're working on your budget on your computer at home.
Yeah.
And then you need to check something when you're out.
I used to carry a notebook for that,
Oh, yeah.
but it was easy to lose track of things.
I bet with multi-device synchronization, your budget is always up to date.
So I can use my phone, tablet, computer, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I can update my budget from the grocery store.
Or a coffee shop.
Exactly.
It makes budgeting much more convenient.
Okay, but what about security?
Right.
That's a big
So
concern.
we're talking about our bank information and stuff.
Exactly. So you need to choose budgeting tools that prioritize data protection.
Okay, so what should we be looking for?
Well, one important feature is encryption.
Encryption.
It's like a digital vault that protects your data.
So even if someone hacks the app,
They can't see your information.
that's good to know.
Budgeting apps usually use 256-bit AES encryption,
Okay.
which is super secure.
What else should we be looking for?
Two-factor authentication.
What's it?
It adds an extra layer of security. Okay.
So if you try to log in from a new device,
Uh-huh.
you'll get a code on your phone.
And I need that code to log in.
Exactly. So even if someone steals your password,
They still can't get into my account.
right. And finally, you should look for budgeting tools that have regular security audits.
What are those?
They're like checkups for the app's security.
So they make sure everything is still working properly.
Exactly.
So we've got encryption, two-factor authentication, and security audits.
Those are the key security features.
It's good to know these apps take security seriously.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to a feature that can really streamline things.
Okay.
Integration with bank accounts.
Ooh, this sounds like it could save a lot of time.
It definitely can. Imagine your budgeting tool automatically pulling in transactions from your bank.
No more manually entering everything.
Exactly. It saves so much time and it's more accurate.
It's like magic.
And you get a clearer picture of your cash flow.
Because it's all right there in front of you.
Exactly. You can see exactly where your money is going.
And if I'm spending too much on something, I can create a separate category for it.
Right. Like if you love coffee,
Yeah.
you could have a coffee category.
And it would track all my coffee purchases.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Okay, so bank integration seems really helpful.
It is. And finally, let's talk about mobile accessibility.
That's essential these days.
It is because you need to be able to manage your finances from anywhere.
So I can check my budget, track expenses,
Yeah.
make adjustments,
All from my phone.
like having my budget in my pocket.
Exactly. And if you're about to make an impulse purchase,
Oh,
you can quickly check your budget and see if you can really afford it.
that's a good idea. Like having a little voice in my head saying, do you really need this?
Exactly. And with real-time updates, you can see how that purchase will affect your budget right away.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
So mobile accessibility is all about staying connected to our finances.
Exactly. No matter where we are.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this part of our deep dive.
We talked about financial reports and analytics,
Multi-device synchronization, security, and data protection.
and integration with bank accounts and mobile accessibility,
Now we'll move on to the next part of our deep dive.
where we'll see how all of these features can work together to transform your financial life.
Okay, so welcome back to the deep dive.
Back for more.
We've been talking about all kinds of features for effective budgeting tools.
From user-friendly interfaces to strong security features.
Right.
But now it's time to see how they all fit together.
Yeah. How do they actually work to help us?
Well, it's like building something.
Okay.
We've been looking at all the individual pieces.
Yeah, like the bricks.
Right, but now we're going to see the whole building,
I like that analogy. So we start with a user-friendly interface.
which makes budgeting less scary.
Right. And then we customize the categories to fit our needs.
And then we see our spending in real time.
So we're not surprised at the end of the month.
Exactly, and then we set goals and track our progress.
So we know where we're going.
And we use financial reports
Uh-huh.
to see the big picture.
And we know our data is safe.
With encryption, two-factor authentication, and security audits.
Right. And we can access our budget from anywhere.
On our phones, computers, tablets.
And our bank transactions are automatically imported.
So we don't have to enter everything manually.
So many helpful features.
It's all about empowering you to manage your money.
It's not just about the numbers.
It's about feeling in control of your finances.
And that can make a big difference in your life.
When you feel confident about your money.
You can pursue your dreams.
Exactly. And budgeting tools aren't just for people who are struggling.
They're for anyone who wants to manage their money better.
Whether you're saving for a house or just trying to make ends meet.
A budgeting tool can help.
It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket.
So to wrap things up, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What aspect of your finances do you want to improve?
That's a good question.
And how can a budgeting